Hello, my name's Jake.
My name is Garrett.
And my name is Dare. And this is To Be Continued, where we continue all your favorite stories from TV, movies, and anything else pop culture related.
Today's topic, going with our December Christmas theme, Frosty the Snowman. A magical snowman that miraculously got his powers, I guess, through a magic hat.
Does he have any powers, or is it just that he's now alive? Is that his own,
I think by the standards of, other snowmen.
Okay, well, yeah, he's definitely
he has powers.
Above.
He
exactly.
definily, is like Jesus.
He's
that
guy can walk.
That's some shit.
He can take on three different forms of matter.
Hold on. I need, you guys just fucked me up.
What?
I can't remember. How does Frosty walk? Is it like a waddle, or is it a slide motion?
It's like a slide motion, like the snowman that announces the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie.
Got it.
No, that's a different snowman.
Oh wait,
no, for sure.
That's a whole different guy.
I
Are you sure? That wasn't a backdoor cameo?
Yeah, no, that
it could
Rudolph
be a seasoned.
It's like the Flash showing up in Batman v Superman. We knew a Flash movie would come eventually. Still waiting.
I actually think Frosty does have legs.
Frosty don't have legs.
Frosty the Snowman has legs. He's got two big old little legs.
You're so right. He does have legs. I can picture him doing this fucking. That's weird, man. So yeah, he definitely has powers.
Yeah, well,
because he's a biped. That's fucking. He just transitioned the whole spectrum of evolution for snowmen forward 30,000 years. I would bet.
That's got to be
you know what I mean?
Yeah, Frosty Snowman. It was ahead of its time.
How else are other snowmen looked at that and said, "Damn, I'm not gonna survive out here because I don't have legs."
I really think that it's just the hat that brings. I believe my personal theory is that the hat had a very own soul of its own because it came from this mysterious Professor Hinkle, who supposedly was supposed to perform at the kids' Christmas party.
So he was an experienced magician, right? He was just
yeah, I guess he was beginner. Maybe he got this hat from a
pure accident, right?
Yeah, like an antique shop or a thrift store or something.
Yeah.
And then the kids just stumbled across the hat somehow and they put it on the snowman and it appeared alive. So there's obviously some sort of magic soul
guys
ingrained within.
You guys are making this seem like a nice, happy story, and mine is much grimmer and darker.
Okay.
This hat, it's fucking taboo.
Taboo.
So you think it's demonic or something like that?
Have you ever heard of the movie Chucky? Or Child's Play, if you will?
Yes. That was
or Child's Play, if you will.
Yeah. That, my friends.
That's the Bride of Chucky.
Yeah, exactly. But both of those are the souls of these not so nice people.
Oh, okay.
Being embodied into this doll.
Yeah.
So my theory here, ladies and gentlemen, people of the court, is that
you may proceed.
A very, very jolly, nice man somehow manifested his soul into that hat. Somewhere in the attic of those kids' family, it was passed on between generations and generations.
I will say,
just happened by happenstance be the one that they threw on that very snowman, not knowing not knowing that it was taboo, not knowing that there was a possession of a very, very jolly man from the 1700s who ran a pirate shop. Very happy man, but he's Frosty.
So believably because Frosty the Snowman's so afraid of death too, so you could totally see him trying to escape.
Because he doesn't want to go back.
He's so jolly and happy. I don't want to go to a bad, scary place, and maybe he transfers his soul into his hat that he loves, whatever.
I said it was a dark, grim story, and I just mean the idea of someone's soul being trapped in a hat and only to come alive once they got put on a snowman. Yeah. Out of all the inanimate objects, if I was going to be manifested my soul into, I would hope to God it's not a snowman, because there's a lot of things that could fuck me up, like anything sharp, anything that's hot.
Well, no, technically, even something sharp, I feel like you could morph back together. Snow could morph back together.
I said sharp, and I just mean anything of robust structure will knock me down and flatten me.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you throw a baseball bat, go straight through me, or throw a baseball straight through me. You throw fucking anything, really, I'm fucked.
I think part of the magic is that even if that were to happen. Mm-hmm. The magic would just kind of keep you together.
I form back together.
You know?
He's okay. I just found a picture of Frosty the Snowman with his head in his hand.
Wow.
So I'm guessing the hat must be connected to the head, but
as long as it's touching
But what if that face got punched? Well, what happens? Does it come back to that jolly structure?
Whatever the hat has to be touching
what is this
snow.
Is this snow anymore?
You can knock it.
Like, is this no longer... Like, did the chemical compounds of H2O frozen?
Dude, the laws of physics still apply here.
I just want to know what this hat does.
He's not very transparent.
And is it a combination of the hat and the scarf?
I'd like to think that we need to embrace more of a spiritual...
He wears scarves.
Does he have a pipe?
We need to embrace a more spiritual outlook on this rather than scientific.
Right.
So, let's just go to the subject that the magic keeps the snow.
What?
The magic keeps the snow out of the realm of actual physical...
Look. So there's a huge spell over the snow. Over that, every little icicle of the like snowman is kept together by the magic. So it's pretty much a huge little trash bag that keeps it all together.
I have a serious problem with all of this. I'm terrified right now.
Let me address your concerns.
Yeah, like childhood love character that was there for Christmas days when you were feeling down.
For the people listening to this, I want to give you some backstory.
Okay.
I want to give them the backstory of how the fuck we got to this point in our lives. I texted the group chat. I said, hey, maybe we could, like, are we just shooting Die Hard? I think was the question. I was like, oh, like, we're trying to do Christmas stuff. So, like, everyone, like, what's that, something everyone knows? Everyone knows Frosty. Like, and even if you don't, like, you can watch that in 20 minutes and get the gif.
Yeah, it's a hat on a snow.
Your reply made me laugh out loud because I was like, what the fuck is that? And you're like, oh, fuck yeah, that thing terrifies me. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, he's just... what?
Why am I afraid of Frosty?
Yeah, and now the more that we're talking about it, I'm like, I am not okay with any of this. This is some heebie-jeebies, dude. Like,
yeah, what happened?
This is a man, potentially, or woman, who lost their life into an inanimate object. And then only to come alive as a fucking snowman. And be so happy at the reality that this is not a good thing to come alive as. I'd prefer to be like a fucking bed, keep me for a few years. I don't know, like whatever. Like I don't know if I want.
You want to be a human bed? Is that what you?
I'm just no. I wouldn't want to be
like
a bed.
Not a human bed, but like a bed. Like
I'm just saying.
If you could come back, what would you want to come back as?
For real?
But like as a snowman, you have to choose. If you put your soul in a hat or something.
Snowman sounded pretty cool now.
Yeah, snowman sounds.
Yeah, because then
at least you have legs.
Not getting touched.
Yeah, you'd be like Clayface, where you like change your little snow.
Ooh, no, yeah, I want to be Play-Doh.
You want to be Play-Doh.
Or maybe like a monument.
You want to be walking like a living monument.
I don't want to walk. I guess I'll just post up as the monument.
Like imagine if you're Abraham Lincoln at the Lincoln Memorial, but you can get up and walk.
That's what I want to be.
That'd be crazy.
Or
that's
a T-Rex. One of those Smithsonian.
Just the skeleton.
Yeah, just this like I'm really just thinking Night of the Museum characters at this point, but you know all those would be wonderful. Or a toy hippopotamus.
Toy hippopotamus.
Because that's the closest thing I could be to a hippopotamus. Because those are already alive.
Yeah.
What about one of the hippos from the Jungle Cruise? The Jungle Cruise at Disneyland.
That'd be fucking terrifying if they all came alive.
Hey, what if you so the hat gets put on an inanimate object and it turns it alive? If you put that hat on like a person, does it like?
I think we're also taking a lot of liberties to assume that. Is that really what's up?
There's a lot of questions
like
around this
hat.
Wasn't the professor wearing? Wasn't the magician wearing the hat before? Like
before it was alive. Or before
was it a magician? Is that what you said?
The magician, or AKA Professor Hinkle.
Dude, this guy definitely was a magician. Okay, we just figured out the origin of this hat. This man was a fucking 1800s magician. All right, stick with me.
Are you trying to create a prequel for Frosty Snowman?
No, I'm just trying to tell you why this hat is so fucking powerful.
Okay.
Listen, he was a magician. He believed in real magic, not just the fucking card shit. He was fucking down. He was like, I don't know what Harry Potter is, but if that existed when I was alive, that's who I was. He wanted to believe. Finally, he figured out the spell to transcend into objects. And he always wore this dumb hat. So he fucking tried it on a hat, but he was stuck. Okay? People thought he died. People thought he went missing. No one could find him. Frosty is what they called him. Back in the day, he was the magician, Frosty, because he would always make ice disappear into children's ears and pop out of their mouths. It was crazy. But yeah, Frosty, he went missing. People thought he got murdered. Nah, he fucking manifested himself into this hat. People packed up his shit, including the hat, moved it out of the place, put it back to his mom's place. She cried every day for the rest of her life. After she died, it got passed down to generations, to find little Cindy Woohoo or whatever the fuck.
Karen.
Only to find Karen to make this beautiful snowman, if you will. All right, puts this hat on, and why is Frosty so fucking jolly? Because for the first time in his life, he realizes not only was he correct about the magic, but two, it worked.
I'm glad you brought it back to that. You know, I admit I was lost at times.
Come on, guys.
But
no worries.
We got taken out to sea, man.
But it explains why it's a magician's hat.
Mm-hmm.
It explains where the magic comes from, because he was a magician.
Yes.
Believed in real magic.
Mm-hmm.
Finally finds it, tries the spell on himself because he doesn't want to hurt anybody, but he's okay to. It's like experimenting on humans.
Well,
it's like when you make a cure and then you just inject yourself with it, or like you make a new sick drug and then you try it with yourself.
Let me throw this idea out before I
I
lose
know
it
what you're
here.
talking about. It's a classic cliche in the movies. That's how the Green Goblin was created in Spider-Man when it's like human testing on the
I'm just trying to be less creeped out by this whole thing.
I'm terrified.
Okay.
Still okay.
Let me just
He's jolly. That's the only thing I'm saying. Like, what if a serial killer was in that hat? Because where's the soul coming from? It's not the hat.
I have an idea for you, but like,
please.
Let's hear Jake.
Okay.
And yes, I think we need a backstory. We need a prequel if we're gonna continue this bitch. I'm throwing my hat into the ring of the prequel camp. Anyways.
Okay. I liked parts of your story. I like the idea.
Tale,
I like the idea of going. Bear with me here. Live action. Starting off this way. We're starting in the 1700s.
Okay.
Again, this hat belongs to a young man, you know, or actually not young. He's an older gentleman, but he's obviously a little jolly, you know. He's a happy guy, but we never see his face. And it's just like a follow-up of him just walking along. Then when suddenly an accident happens.
Fuck.
And he loses his life, but it doesn't show you how. You just know it's implied that he loses his life, and then you follow. It's like kind of the same idea. This hat goes and passes along from generation to generation, and then finally it comes into the hands of Karen through this Professor Hinkle, who had just bought this hat at an antique shop. So she steals the hat from him and puts it on Frosty. This is all live action, bear in mind.
So wait, okay, so the same thing.
So it's half the movie like telling the prequel. So we're jumping time periods, right?
No, I'm willing to invest like 10 minutes for the beginning.
And then it just goes into the Frosty the Snowman tale that we know and love.
Yes.
It was 30 minutes, so now the total is 40 minutes.
I mean, you could add some more lines and
change
storyline, you know? It's not exactly the same.
You can show the day-to-day. Think Paddington, but with Frosty. First night, sleeping indoors, he's almost melting. She throws him in the freezer. It'll be hijinks, bro. Hijinks.
Oh my god, if it was live action, that's all I could think about is like, dude, that thing's gonna melt.
Oh, like, for sure.
But, okay, so.
But what if we figured out a way?
He went to the North Pole to, like, stay, like, alive.
But what if our story, he just goes to Utah, much closer?
Much hotter.
Utah.
Okay, so I was thinking of this little, like, detail or fact in the Frosty the Snowman universe. Mm-hmm. When Mr. Hinkle, like, does the little spell, and you say he's, like, a beginner, right? He's an amateur kind of, like, ish. Okay. So he doesn't know that the spell actually just splits his soul into two. So his holly jolly side goes into the hat, but he's left with his, like, envy and like, little anger and his little, like, negative personality, which is why he wants his jolly side back because it's missing from him. So that little detail, throw that in the beginning when he's, like, creating the Frosty the Snowman. You could give him a little more motive on why he wants his hat back instead of just, like, because that's, like, his other side to him.
I really like that.
But
that's really good.
To be free. Yeah.
I dig that.
So wait, who wants the hat back?
Mr. Hinkle. So instead of, like, you know, his
Professor
all of his soul,
Hinkle,
it just, like, splits into two. His jolly side's in the hat, His evil side is like still in his body.
It just like all the good qualities go in the hat, all the bad qualities stay within him.
Yeah.
Please clarify one thing for me, and I apologize. Maybe this is dating the time that I've last seen Frosty the Snowman. Even though it was probably my mom watches these every year, all year, nice. And like I'll watch them with her. And I haven't seen them this year, but one day, maybe when I go back.
One day. Okay.
But is this guy? This Professor Hinkle, did you make this up, or is he really in the...
He's really in it.
Okay, what the fuck? Is he the guy that looks really mean?
I can't remember what he looks like, but all I know is that he's...
Bald, with black hairish. And
well, he's hired as, like, the school's magician for their Christmas party.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, and I guess after he fails his first trick, he, like, tosses his hat. You know, he just gets rid of it.
That's the hat.
That's the hat.
Okay, so my story God. Totally, that is long.
Let me see.
It totally reminds me of the Joker, but like back in the day.
Oh wow!
Like before Joker goes all crazy.
Yep.
Nope. Does not look like a pleasant man.
No, he looks mean.
Well, yeah, maybe like all of his good qualities go into that.
That's a serial killer right there. That one. Whoa.
Anyway.
Hocus Pocus is the rabbit.
All right. Is there any other? Well, oh wait, we talked about continuing Frosty the Snowman? We just talked about like the prequels.
That's a way to continue it.
But
I think it'd be
what
nice
the fuck are you gonna do after?
Well, it ends in the North Pole, so you could argue that global warming. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, wow. Hold on. I would really like to see a good live action movie where we tackle a little more like the meaning of life philosophy questions with Frosty the Snowman. As he looks at his life in such a short time span, you pair him up with a kid who like is getting too much invested in his like school problems and things like that. That Frosty wants to show him like life is meaningful and way more than just like what's now, but the entirety of it. And that's what like Frosty's like message is before he goes to the North Pole. That's what we tell kids.
You trying to make me cry,
man? I'm just giving you some Disney live action heartfelt like love there.
I'm dealing the love.
That'd be,
guys. Some may call me cynical.
But
I don't want to see that.
You don't want to see that?
I don't want to see that.
I want some like.
I understand there's a lot of money to be made making that movie, so right? I think a lot of people would want to see that. I even made the Paddington reference.
Yeah.
But again, does anyone feel like Frosty the Snowman's an emotional tale?
It could be. I think it's a Holly Jolly tale, which is like kind of like a thriller. But I want to see some like pulling on the chords of your heart.
I would argue that it was very emotional because I remember watching the movie in 5th grade, for example.
Wow.
And when he melts in that greenhouse,
right? It's sad.
It's sad, and you think to yourself, "There's no way. There's no way we're getting him back."
I think we should play on that much more.
But he comes back.
But what if that was like 20 minutes?
He comes back.
He comes back, bro. He really does.
Extend that scene for 20 minutes. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like it turns into like
just make him melt really slowly.
Yeah. I just picture like them like holding him as he's melting, like basically the Tom Holland scene from,
exactly what I was thinking.
From Infinity War mixed with Dobby dying and
Harry Potter. I don't feel so good.
It's like
just
Karen.
Yeah.
I don't feel so frosty.
Feel so good.
I don't feel so cold.
Mr. Stark.
Or he's like, I feel warm.
I feel warm inside.
I see the light, the heat. Okay, anyway.
Jesus. Fucking.
Enough corny Frosty dying man. Jokes.
There's something about this one that just. Why?
Okay, realistically, if you continue the story from the North Pole, right? You continue his story. Okay. You gotta continue from there.
All right. So my opinion, he finds Santa. Is he in the South Pole? Is that what you're looking at?
Santa saves him, I think. Santa brings the one who brings him to the North Pole.
Well, guys, welcome to my life. Santa, that wasn't the real Santa. That was a guy who was just trying to kidnap Frosty. So right as you see him leave, he actually is in prison. He's in a snow globe.
In a snow globe?
I like that idea.
He starts walking, and then he just fucking hits the wall.
Remember how
he's just in a giant fucking snow globe. Like, he's like, I'm free, I'm happy, or like whatever. And then they realize
like Mario.
that motherfucker was actually a CIA
Professor Hinkle in disguise.
A CIA agent Hinkle. Agent Hinkle.
And
it turns out that he fucking knew that this would conspire somehow. All a part of the plan. And now the government has Frosty trapped for experimentation because he's a fucking freak of nature. He's a talking, walking snowman. Like this isn't. So it's like this is a scientific. Yeah,
you can definitely weaponize Frosty
for sure.
You know how much snow is in Russia,
right? And they're trying to steal their fucking. To
the Cold War.
They're trying. Oh my god! They're trying to fucking extract his DNA, seeing if they can replicate it for human, like maybe crossover breeds or something. Maybe
an army of U.S. snowmen.
I'm telling you, snowmen. Oh. Yep, and then
snowmen.
This brings into Darius's whole picture that blew my mind.
A great idea.
Was the family? The family.
Yeah.
They have his family, dude. So he has to obey. Because in the snow globe next to his snow globe, they're not connected yet. But the agent promises Mr. Frosty if he cooperates, he'll combine their snow globes into a superdome, and they'll live together.
But for every time he disobeys him, the temperature rises in his family's his family's snow globe by 5 degrees. God,
that's so good. There's just the thermometer of his state.
Like action movie, like.
Oh my god, yeah, of course. This is the only way, man.
Can I? Okay. Wow, never mind. This is gonna sound very like under like. But okay, first two things. First, you could totally make your story into like a superhero origin, where like you put a hat on a human and he controls snow, and then he's like a fucking Marvel villain or whatever. Spider-Man. Second, Frosty the Snowman. After the movie, he comes back from the North Pole, and he's like dancing with the kids, like I've returned. But a businessman's like, what is this? Ha ha ha! And so he goes and like steals Frosty and figures out the like magic in the hat. And then starts replicating different Frosties for children all across the world. Ooh. But Frosty like says like, no, it's about giving love and sharing it and all that versus getting Frosties and Snowmans. Like my love's to share, not for gain.
Dace, you're just such a nice guy.
Yeah,
every pitch is just so adorable, man. It's just awesome. It's great, dude. You're killing it.
So heartwarming.
Oh man, okay.
Bringing the F is for family friendly.
Yeah, just like a little like 30 more minutes of Frosty.
You know, that was the thing too. Is I was like, how long is this one really gonna be?
It's like a 30 minutes. It's so short. It's not much. It's a cartoon villain that's just like another Christmas chick.
But I feel like.
What? You feel like what?
I feel like we could do more with Frosty.
Okay.
What if the drug cartel hears about this fucking walking around snowman and realize we could cut him? If we could reproduce what he is, the finest snow in the world, we could cut him with our drugs. So they start cutting parts of Frosty into their cocaine to up their sales. But then people start getting superpowers because they start doing these drugs, not realizing that the chemicals are not of this world. Flash immediately goes from a girl doing a line and going like crazy, like she's getting powers or whatever, and then Flash goes to this fucking planet, unknown galaxy, full of snow. 100 Frosties are walking around the globe. This is where Frosty's from.
Okay, you brought it to like Stranger Things world right now.
Yeah, that was a little much for me.
All right, that's fine. So no cartels or no other planet.
Maybe no cutting with coke.
All right,
I like the. Hold on.
Why else would they need them?
Well, I like.
Go ahead, dude. Let me hear it.
Go ahead, you come on.
Yeah, come on, dude.
About the cartel.
Let me hear it.
I like the drug thing, but with like the Frosty, put him in the drug, and then you get a jolly feeling, like Christmas joy. It's like all in the burst of a little pill.
Why don't we put him in like whipped cream or like something wholesome?
That's not wholesome. Wholesome whipped cream.
I mean, I'm like trying to think of something you put on your hot cocoa. Hot cocoa sounds good right now.
Yeah,
so you're saying that they're trying to turn him into food?
I guess that's kind of... Well, it's not as bad as drugs, but it's definitely not good.
Yeah, I'd like to see a world with more Frosties.
What if a snow cone company takes him?
A snow cone company?
Wow.
Oh.
Then they also eat him.
Yep.
Or they could use him as...
Guess there's no way out of this. He's getting eaten.
No, turn him into like a Hollywood star. The icicles are like snow cones. They like turn him into a whole bunch
of...
Who
would voice Frosty in your opinion?
Frosty versus Santa.
Frosty versus Ice Cube and Ice-T.
Frosty voiced by Tim Allen.
No.
Voiced by Tim... What?
I don't know how I was ever thinking.
Tom Hanks.
No, stop going Toy Story. What are you doing?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you definitely are.
Morgan Freeman.
How about...
I'm trying to think of what?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
as Frosty?
Too sophisticated.
No, he's perfect. Hello, I'm Frosty.
What?
Oi.
Okay, hold on. Can we get some crossovers now with Frosty?
Bruce Willis. Die Hard.
I could go for a Rudolph Frosty crossover, even though there already kind of was.
A what?
Yeah.
A Rudolph?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember the
Easy,
the snowman at the beginning?
Easy. Bing, 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 money. I'm thinking, you know that scene in Monsters, Inc. where he goes where the Yeti is?
Oh.
What if we replace the Yeti with Frosty? We just re-release Monsters, Inc.
Just re-release it just to include that, like...
Yep.
Yeah. Okay,
the Yeti's gone. He comes up in the second one. We release that one, Frosty.
Ooh, what if, like, Frosty and the Abominable Snowman are, like, friends?
What if Deadpool befriends Frosty?
Okay, what about a Deadpool Christmas special, but with the characters of Frosty, Rudolph, and he has to, like, save Christmas with those, like...
But mainly Frosty.
But mainly Frosty.
Because he's fucking weird. Can we all just admit how weird Frosty is?
Well, yeah, he's got the hat and the, like...
He's a weirdo.
Where's his blood?
He's a weirdo.
He has fucking legs. There's something weird about that.
Oh, man. Okay.
No? Fine.
Well, he is weird, yeah.
I'll take this to the message boards of Reddit.
Okay.
Frosty is a
Drop
creep.
a poll on Instagram.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to, like...
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, folks, I mean, let's... What were your favorite continuations that you'd most likely see? I personally liked my idea. That was pretty much just piggybacking off yours, but live action.
I like that.
A live action Frosty movie.
I think there's also potential for a nice musical where Mr. Frosty and the boys just sing Kumbaya and celebrate the spirit of Christmas, and with Mr. Cindy Lou Who, she's gonna feel great.
Cindy Lou, it's
Karen.
It's not.
Darius?
I like the one where we had talked about. Oh, Up to Your Glass part. I like him in the snow globe.
Oh, I really like that too.
That would
like
be
a
fun.
twist.
Would it be like a? Because that makes sense, you know. He's like, you could make that and not fuck up anything from the first one. You could make a terrible movie with that.
Well, it's like a Matrix.
But it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Like because they never zoom out. Doesn't it just end with him like chilling?
Oh, so it could be like The Simpsons, where like they're in the dome the whole time. They gotta like find out how to break free, and when they do break free, they find out they're in Santa's like workshop, and there's a bunch of other different like stories.
Yeah. Is that how that ended?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Like
no,
my
totally
mind
just
I
random,
suck at remembering movies, dude.
Yeah, you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
But video games.
I want to see like a Mario Party though. Would it be fun for like a Mario Party, but with Frosty the Snowman and all?
I think we need a
Rudolph and the dentist from Rudolph.
Yeah, the elf.
Who else? The grandma that got ran over by
I want
reindeer.
Grand Theft Auto, but with Frosty. Just kidding. Like just in the tundra, just fucking shit up. No, I don't know. I think you could do like a kart racer.
Yeah.
With all the Frosty and the boys.
Him and Karen. Double dash. Double dash.
No, Mr. Kinkle.
Oh, Mr. Kinkle.
Kinkle.
Wait, Crinkle.
Chris Kringle can show up, dude. Yeah, it'll be great.
I like the idea of having that phony Santa. Right? That was your idea, was a phony Santa, and that saved him at the end, but realistically, when he leaves, it's
the CIA, and then it's in the snow globe, bro.
CIA.
Game over, dude.
It's Christmas.
Now, time to weaponize him.
Time to weaponize Frosty.
Yeah,
obviously.
What if Frosty somehow tied into the origin of Mr. Freeze? That's where he gets the freeze part of his name, because like, Frosty's made of ice, and it's cold.
So Frosty was once a person, but then he put his like. I'm thinking of his like that's his dad, like Dr. Freeze or Mr. Freeze. It's Frosty's son.
Does Frosty have a dad?
Frosty,
I feel like Frosty would like the guy who played Mr. Freeze would be the son of Frosty.
Yeah.
Was it an immaculate birth, like just out of nowhere?
Like say Frosty,
like spontaneous combustion, but in baby form.
Like it was Jack Frost who lived in the 20s and lost his life, who wore the tap hat all the time, and his nickname was Frosty. And that's where the spirit comes from Frosty. But that Jack Frost also had a kid who ended up being Mr. Freeze.
I'm not a fan of that guy, Jack Frost.
Oh,
is he a villain?
Dude, okay, that's crazy.
Is he Santa in that film? Like, what is Jack Frost? Because that trailer made me cry in the theaters as a kid. It's about like the dad dies, but then he like lives on as this ice spirit named Jack Frost.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't see the movie.
Oh, dude, but like I just didn't understand it. Like, all right, never mind.
Okay, is that like...
Fuck you, Jack Frost. You scared me as a child. You really did. There's like a scene in the movie where he like disappears with the snow. I was just like, fuck, my dad's gone. Like,
my dad's gone.
That sucks.
What were you gonna say, Darius?
Well, I just pulled up what the like thing of. He's part of the Norse mythology. Jack Frost is.
I thought you were gonna say Frosty. I was like, what the fuck?
No, not Frosty. No, Jack Frost.
That's interesting.
Jack Frost. His mother is like Kari, the Norse god of the winds, and she had a son
God of
named
War
Jakul.
2. God of War 2 is gonna have Jack
crap,
Frost.
That would be tight to have.
Happening.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Picture like
cool,
God of War like versus Jack Frost. He's like throwing icicles, and Kratos is like. Or wait, Kratos' son. Even you could have whatever his like son name is. And Loki could be in there. You know, the whole Jack Frost and Loki team up. That'd be.
Well, I guess that caps it for Frosty.
That got really in so many directions
out there, but
can we remake the TV series 24 but with Frosty?
He has 24 hours to live, and he tries to exasperate
all the countdown's always on the screen.
All right, we gotta close this off.
All right, fine.
We got way too many.
Fine.
things going for
that was a good one.
Ladies, thank you for listening to Be Continued. I've been Jake.
I've been Garrett. You can call me Frosty.
And my name has been Dan. Or wait, what?